I wanted to try something crazy, so I thought I might as well film it just in case it works. Oh, I want to try this on the first go. Haven't tried this at all. This is going to be raw. So I'm building a podcast studio for an event. And for this event, I want to do the kind of setup where there's two chairs, and then we're going to have mic stands coming over the side of the chairs. Of course, what's very irritating about a standard mic stand is they have that, when you use the crossbar in order to say hang like a SM7B, you have that piece that sticks out over the end. Because this space might have other people milling around, all you need is for somebody to hit that, knock the mic on the ground, pull some cables, cause a whole ruckus. So I'm like, okay, what is the best solution? First and foremost, I'm going to be using OC White Ultima mic arms. You know what these look like? You see them in all kinds of podcasts. They're slightly more beefy than your standard issue Elgato sucker like this, or the Rode PSA-1, or God forbid, any of the weird Amazon scissor guys that have basically two pieces, and when you put a heavy mic on it, they go doo. So OC White mic arms have the ability to have a pretty beefy clamp. And so I had this idea, okay, so I'm going to make it like a box. Let me pull over a box example to give you an idea of what I'm going to do. So I'm going to build the box like this, of course, more square. The backside is going to be out. The OC White will get clamped to the top or screwed into the top because they have a flat flange that has 1, 2, 3, 4 screws, and then a little hole thing that you put the mic arm in is on the top. And then again, it'll be slightly more square. What I'm going to use for ballast, aka counterweight, will be backpack, soda cans, water bottles, things that are normally going to be on set anyway, and that'll keep it from sort of tipping over if you have a mic that's, say, heavier than the standard issue 3 pounds of an SM7B. So what we're going to do with the OC White, of course, is clamp it to the top. And I'm like, you know what? Instead of going out and buying some really weird like IKEA table that's going to be a little flimsy and might come apart, I got some woodworking skills. So I'm going to make this out of 3/4 inch plywood, standard issue, kind of fat plywood. And I drew up some quick little plans with this here piece of paper. And I was about to jump into Autodesk Fusion and draw this out. But I'm like, wait a minute, gangster. Maybe AI, maybe AI can do this. So I'm going to ask Claude, and I'll, you know what? Let me pull up ChatGPT as well. I'm going to ask ChatGPT. I'm going to ask both of these guys to take a run at this and see if they give me like 50, 60, 70, 80% of the way, it'll be faster than me drawing this up in Fusion or SketchUp, Tinkercad, whatever, right? I do have Autodesk Fusion, which is sitting over here at the ready, just in case we get ready to dive in. But before we do that, let's just give it a swing, see if chat can do it. So once again, here's my basic plans. I'm calling it the Pod Box, stupid name, and I'm going to build it at 22 by 16. And the reason why I got the 22 from, and let me pull this up so you can see, if you look at basically what is a standard issue armchair, they tend to range between 22 and 25 inches high from the side. That's relatively normal. So I thought if I make it 22, slap some casters on the bottom, that'll get me closer to 24. By the time you count for the caster hardware, so forth, so on, etc., it'll be just about right. If you have a shorter chair where the arm kind of like sweeps under, or there's no arms, it'll be a little taller, but it won't look bad because I'm going to make it pretty. All right. And so just to give you another visual reference, I brought this in over here. This is kind of, average is 21 to 25 inches standard issue armchair. So these will be versatile. I can use it in any other type of setup. Okay. So then let me pull the graphics back up. So I said I want to make it out of 3/4 inch plywood, standard issue plywood. I'm going to put 1 inch caster with breaks. 1 inch casters are kind of a special order deal. I'm probably going to go 1.5. I could walk into Home Depot and buy those. But again, I gave myself some wiggle room by starting out at 22, right? And of course, I can change this once I get it in Fusion. I can make adjustments. And so I basically told it that, the front and the back is probably completely unnecessary. But when I draw these things out for the wood shop, I normally draw all the sides so that people can kind of get down with the get down. And I did make this a lot more rudimentary than I normally would do. So I'm telling it the top and bottoms are 16 by 16. I'm saying the bottom is to have 1 inch casters with breaks so that way it doesn't run away. And then the top is to be a double thickness of 1.5 inches to allow the mounting of hardware. So I'm going to take, when I cut the plywood piece for the top, I'll make 2 pieces for each top. So that way it's a little beefier. So when you go to crank, like a standard issue mic arm, it's more to bite on than just a 1/4 inch plywood. That's a little skinny. It won't break. Plywood is damn strong, but I've been doing this woodworking thing for a minute. I think I got this. We'll see what happens. And then I said the top is have a double thickness of 1.5 inches to allow for the mounting of hardware. The back is to be open to allow for storage of wires and easier access for mounting the hardware. And painted matte black was irrelevant, but I just wanted to see what the chat does with it. So I've taken this photo. I'm going to drop it into the AI, and I'm going to use my microphone to kind of explain to it what I just explained to you, and we'll just see what happens. Now, this is cool, and I do definitely want to make this content creator related. A, building a pod box, because it might be something that you might use as opposed to buying an expensive table. But two, just to show you the type of things that you should give AI a chance at before you go do work that you might be able to shortcut. So anyway, let's dive in. Let's dive in to see what happens. This may or may not work, but either way, I am ready for it. First thing I'm going to do is drop him a little photo, and then let me crank open the old chat box. I would like to build a shop drawing of something I am calling the pod box. It is going to be a plywood box made out of 1/4 inch plywood. And the goal of this box is to have a place to mount a microphone arm that it can sit next to a standard issue chair. So in a podcast studio, the host and the guest will be able to sit down in the various chairs, and there'll be one pod box next to each chair, slightly out of shot, that will hold the microphone instead of having it wedged onto a table using table stands or the standard issue 3-legged stands. This will make it safer, a little bit more sturdy, and a little bit more aesthetic. So I've supplied you with a hand drawing of the basic idea. And what I would like you to do is generate a CAD style shop drawing that I can hand to a craftsman so they can build this table. If you have any questions, be sure to ask. Ooh, let's see. All right, it's working on my little doohickey is working on transcribing what I said, and then I'll be able to paste it in here in just a split second. I don't know, it's transcribing kind of slow today. Anyway, so that's my supersonic long prompt. Let's just go and hit the button and see what it comes up with. I am super curious. This ought to be cool. Okay, while Claude's working on that, let's repeat this process over here. So I'm just going to paste it in, and then I'll add my little photo, give it a second to do that thing. And then, hey, why won't you scroll down to the bottom? What are you doing? What are you doing? Really weird. The page won't scroll. Sorry, I got to embiggen this for a second. Hopefully it'll fix itself. I'll pull it back up. Hopefully it'll fix itself. So let's let chat do its thing. Let's go check on Claude. Claude has it from what I see, blah, 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 front and back, 16, 16, 16 with, yep, okay, bottom, yep, that looks good. Back open for Wildstorm Horror. Oh, looks good. Painted white black finish? No, it's matte black finish, but that's easy. Who cares? That's going to be me painting it, so it doesn't care what the AI say. Before I create the shop drawings, I have a few questions to ensure accuracy. Bingo! For the double allowing you to mount on hardware, do you want that to be on the top or 2 layers? Do you want the top to be 1.5 thick total, 2 layers? Yes. So the answer to number 1 is yes. So I'm going to say yes. Bingo. I hit that little shift enter to get to the next one. Back put open. When you say the back is open, do you want the entire back open or partial opening? We'll do entire back for now. I am probably going to put a lip on the bottom to keep things from falling out. But again, I could do that myself. So let's say 2 is ENTIRE back. Okay, let's go to 3. Cache is mounted directly to the bottom of the plywood. No recess mounting. We're just going to call it bottom 3 because, we're trying to make this easy so anybody can duplicate this. Flush mount to bottom. I can't type. This is why I talk my prompts in. Hardware mounting specifics. What type of microphone arm will you be mounting this? This affects the bulb pattern relationship to the top. So let's go give them this information. There you go. This is the one we got. All right. So we're going to give them this B&H link. And I'm going to use this whole sucker right here. Copy that. And then I'm going to take the B&H link. I always, when I give it to chat, scrub off all of the unnecessary crap on the URL. And that normally is preceded by a question mark. So once you find a question mark, you can go from there and call the rest gangster. So we're going to truncate those two together and then go to the old Claudette and then say number 4. And then boom, this is it. Number 5, internal structure. Do you want any internal bracing for the shelving or equipment storage? For number 5 right now, we're going to say no. I can always add that myself. No. And dimension variance is 20, 16 high. Wait, the front panel shows 22 by 16, but the height, front panel shows 22 width. No, it's height. No, okay, so here we go. Number 6. The box is 22. Let's use what they use. 22 inches high. Right? And then the top and bottom are 16 by 16 square. All right, let's see. Let's see what happens. As a matter of fact, let me copy these in case chat has similar thoughts. I don't have to do this twice. This is super crazy. I like doing really weird live stuff just to see what happens. Like, it's super interesting. While that's doing that, I don't want to take away from the fact that it's drawing. So let me add a little camera here and then unembiggen it so you guys can sort of see. And I'll put my big, large melon in the corner. Anyway, I love the way chat shows you the work, not chat. Claude shows you the work when it's doing its thing. And with the recent update, Claude should be much better at doing something that requires thinking and crafting files. While this is thinking, let's pop over to ChatGPT, see what it did. All right, first of all, it already made a drawing, so let's pull it down. And it says these are the assumptions that it made. Let's read the assumptions. Overall elevations, plan dimension, exploded assembly with build order, bottom panel caches layout with the whole centers. The cut. Oh, they gave a cut list. That's not a technological. That is a term of art for wood crafting. I do like that. So it tells you that when you go to the table saw, this is how you cut it, right? And I'm gonna use a CNC because, well, gangsta. Anyway, assumptions that I use for the craftsperson proceed. Exterior footprint, 16 by 16. The carcass height is 22 plus the 1-inch caster. So overall 23. It's going to end up being 1.5, but that's a sub I can make on the fly. Material is 3/4 inch plywood. Okay, it said, I could have sworn I told it 3/4, but hey, it got it. I appreciate that. The top laminate, yes, exactly, to hold the mic arm load. See, Chad figured it out. The back is opening for cable matches, joinery, glue, and brads, pocket screws, slight round over. All of the above is true. If you truly want 1/4 ply, no. 3/4 is direct. You want me to add your Max Armor Exact bolt patterns? I'm going to say yes, but I'm going to just look at what they downloaded. Let's grab the file here, and then I'll pull it up on screen real quick and just see how it did. This is interesting. Hercules. Yo, family, I'm sorry I am giggly, but it's kind of wild that AI would even take a swing at this. Yo, this saved me a lot of time in the shop when I'm building things for like restaurants or whatever. This is crazy. So let's see what they came up with. I'm going to drop this in so you guys can see, and I'll just move my melon over here a little bit. So let's see. Let me unembiggen that. Yo, that's correct. That's exactly how you would do it. Although the casters will probably, instead of having a center pole caster, because we're only on, 3/4 inch plywood, we're going to use flush mounted, but close enough. That works. My brain can understand that. These are things that on the fly we would just make. And okay, I want you to notice something. This is brilliant. Chat is brilliant. The reason why it's 14.5, because if you're dealing with, my brain just went dumb. If you're dealing with 3/4 inch plywood, The thickness, when you close it together, because they're, 3/4 inch makes 1.5 inch. So 16 minus 1.5, 14.5, because the internal dimensions would be that, the external will still come out to 16. The fact that it knows that, and I know that should make sense because it knows how to do math, but trust me, how many actual humans when doing woodwork can screw this up? Because they build based off of the dimensions, and when they cut everything, it comes out to be anywhere from 1.5 to 3 inches short because they didn't think. Anyway, that makes sense. If you got that, let me know in the comment section below. It totally makes sense. This is awesome. All right, so there's the cut list, which is genius. It's already pulling in the cuts like for the front to make sure that your dimensions are dimensionally correct. So you see the 14.5 by 16s in various places. Also kind of genius. So this is really cool. I can't really see what it says on this first page. I'm gonna just open it on the desktop, see if I can tell you. It's kind of cutting it off. I wish Claude would have done a better job of building this overall look, whereas ChatGPT does a bad job with this pagination. So these two drawings should be on two separate pages, but it did pretty good. Like even as a woodworker, I can take this and I know what I'm doing, right? You know what I mean? And notice how they added the double laminate right here at the top. Also brilliant. Anyway, nice first run, ChatGPT. With that alone, I could easily bring it in. Matter of fact, I'm going to ask it if it could make something that I could drop into Fusion. Let me go back so you guys can see what I'm doing. This is fun. This is just me being a nerd, okay? Everybody deal with it. I told you, as a content creator, one of the most important things you could do is experiment. Experimentation is your friend. Make a file I can open and edit in Autodesk Fusion or similar. Okay, bingo. Let it run it down. Let's go see what Claude came up with. Claude's smarter. Okay, told you. When it comes to this type of joints, Claude is, she good. All right, look. All right, so we got the thing. It's showing the double inch. It's showing the 22. Even put wheels on it. And you can't lose with 22s. That's what's up. It's showing the side view, right? It's kind of like this, open back for wire access. I wonder if it forgot that there's going to be side panel or if it's showing me a split view, but hey, it still works, right? It's showing me the 2 layers of 3/4 inch tops, 16 by 22, looking good, open back. There's the top view. Boom. It's showing the top is laminated. This theoretically would be on that side, but hey, we'll call that gangster. The caster mounts look flawless. There is my cut sheets. It did take into effect the 14.5. Okay, very, very good. So it does have left side, right side panel, top, bottom panel. Bottom panel, front panel. So left, right, front, correct. Top, double inch, backside, drill for the cat. Listen, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It has the hardware specification. It even came out with number 8 screws. Woo-hoo, this is good. Gave instructions in case I was handing this off to somebody other than myself. Family, this is absolute gangster. This is absolute gangster. Listen, I'm sorry, family. I'm a nerd. What do you want? This is too cool. All right, let me check if ChatGPT was able to make the file, and then we'll try to open it up inside of Fusion. Oh my God, this is crazy. I can obviously give you a file to open in Fusion, but step export isn't exactly available. Here's what I can generate right away. STL is perfectly fine. Let's see. Let's do STL. Yes to STL. Bingo. Let's see. Can you feel it? I'm sorry, you guys. I am goofy as all sin right now because this is crazy. All right, so let's download this sucker. And I'm just curious as to how wacky it comes out inside of Fusion. All right. Nah. Okay. It failed at this. It failed miserably, but it was worth a shot. It's still kind of, look, it even put it like in the middle of the floor. So I don't think it got the dimensions right. But anyway, it was worth a shot. I can do the rest myself. And honestly, at this point, I don't even need to put this in Fusion. what Claude was able to generate is good enough, what we would call mechanicals or shop drawings, that I can hand to basically any idiot with a screwdriver and they can build this. So I'm going to give it some credit. You heard me say this a million times, fam. When you are a content creator, one of the most important things you can do just for your brain is experiment. And love to do tiny experiments. And thank you for riding dirty with me while I did the craziest experiment I've ever done on this channel. For the 3 of you who sat through this and watched this, trust me, you are now smarter than everybody that ran away. But I appreciate you for being here. Of course, if you have any questions, comments, feedback, drop that down in the comment section below. Is this something you would try? Thought about building planter boxes for the backyard? Let Chad take a run at it. You know what I'm saying? It'll give you the list to take to Home Depot. And by the way, I will clean these up and put them somewhere. If you're interested, let me know if you'd be interested, because I could give you this. And what will happen is you could take this sheet to Home Depot or Lowe's. You can select your plywood, and Home Depot sometimes does it for free. Lowe's charges you about $1 a cut, but the sheet of plywood is going to be like sub 20 bones, and the $1 a cut might cost you an extra $6. You should be able to just go home, glue and screw this sumbitch together, paint it black with a rattle can. Clack, 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 clack. Prime it first, though. Prime it first. It'll take the bumpy parts off, right? Prime it, spray it with rattle can black, and you have a dope pod table for your podcast studio. So if you need something more fancy than that, let me know. I can put it in the description so you guys can snatch it. But hey, I think these pod boxes right here are gang star. I tell you what, if I really wanted to be lazy about this, I could take this and send it off to Fiverr somewhere and say, make me a full ass plans with instructions. So I can give this out to people for free in my mail list. So this is the type of stuff, right? If you're a crafter, do something like this. Take your craft, make your video, take your transcript, tell it to make you the plans. Tell Claude to make you the plans that you can then drop in your mail and send it out to somebody. Anyway, let me stop waxing. I don't know who need to see this, but if it was you, let me know in the comment section below. If you like the video, press the like button, press the subscribe button, ring the notification bell. I will post a video of the pod box once it's done. And right about now, the algorithm's going to share another video I think you should watch, and I agree with him. This is cool. I'm tripping.
I need to know everything, who and the what and the where. I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George. I hop in the Porsche, it's 5 and a horse. I'm ready for war. I'm coming for throats to turn to a ghost. I need to know everything. Now you be surprised at the info you get is by letting them talk, so I'm letting them talk. Gotta keep quiet, maneuver in silence to let them.